Well, hello guys, it is that time once again for another edition of Odds and Ends, where I read you some really rare news stories from all over the world, and hey, they don't call it Odds and Ends for a reason, you know? Yes, I know that I am late, only because I was lazy and stuff came up, so, apologize for that, but, doesn't matter, I have my source here. As you can probably tell, camera angle is a little different, but that's not the point. Point is, I have my source. Without further ado, let's get our stories going, shall we? I'm sure you're anxious. So our first story comes out of India, where a textbook publisher in New Delhi is being criticized for a health and hygiene book which claims meat eaters as, quote, easily cheat, tell lies, forget promises, and, quote, commit sex crimes. The new Healthway textbook, written by David S. Podar and published by S. Chenad Group, is intended for 11 and 12-year-old students. One particular chapter, however, is creating some controversy. Quote, the strongest argument that meat is not essential food is the fact that the creator of this universe did not include meat in the original diet for Adam and Eve. He gave them fruits, nuts, and vegetables, says the chapter titled, quote, Why Do We Need Flesh Food? Among the characteristics of non-vegetarians, the book lists of the following facts. Quote, they easily cheat, tell lies, forget promises, and they are dishonest and tell bad words, steal, fight, and turn to violent and commit sex crimes. Janaki Rajan of the Facility for Education at Jamia Millia University in Delhi told the BBC News the textbooks are, quote, poisonous for children. After the controversy broke in local media, Himanshu Guttappa, joint managing director of S. Chenad, told NDTV the company planned to discontinue the book and reword new versions. Quote, we are also trying to contact the author who may have died because he was very old, Guttappa stated. So let's see. You're basing fact on the origins of Adam and Eve only because they didn't eat meat, and because eating meat gives you testosterone. Testosterone obviously makes you lie, cheat, steal, commit sex crimes, turn violent, all this other stuff, and it's in a book. Whoop-de-doo. Don't get mad at the author and don't get all aggro just because the book is saying meat is going to make you do this. Alright? There are different countries who eat meat, but then again, we don't actually do this kind of thing after eating meat. So, probably because of a different diet system that we have, though, so I can understand where you're coming from, though, but I'm not saying, eat meat and, this, that, and the other. I'm just saying that don't go pointing fingers just because it's something that came out of a book. Because you don't have facts, obviously. So, before you actually point your finger and say, oh, this person's so-and-so, get your facts before you actually start accusing people. That's all I'm saying. Moving on. Our next story comes out of England, where Donald Jr. Green, 23, admitted in Oldham Magistrates Court, I'm probably mispronouncing that for the life of me, court to, quote, accidentally handing out bags of cocaine to several young trick-or-treaters who just happened to be children of a police officer. According to London's, quote, London's Daily Telegraph, Green told the court he reached into his pocket when the three children showed up at his door on Halloween. Instead of pulling out candy, however, he produced a plastic bag containing 8 bags of cocaine, which he had purchased for £200, or $320 American dollars, earlier that day. Green then dropped the drugs into the bags of the children ages 8, 6, and 5. Shortly after closing the door, Green realized his mistake. He went on foot, scouring the streets of Oldham in northern England, looking for the consumed kids. But the children's father, an off-duty police constable named Simon Fowle, had already taken them home and discovered the cocaine. Green was sentenced to perform 130 hours of community service in order to pay £145 or $230 in court costs. Okay, dude, you have got to be uberly stupid to hand out bags of cocaine to an 8-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 5-year-old, and then 2 seconds later you realize, oh crap, I accidentally gave him cocaine. What if a cop finds out? And look what happens. Cop found out, you got arrested, and now you're paying for jail costs and you're doing community service. Nice going, dude. Next time, don't put cocaine in your pocket and reach in there and give it to kids. Make sure you have candy in a bowl that's right by the door and just go, here, take your candy and go. I'm gonna go all on the coke. No, don't do that last part that I just said though, but just give him candy and you might have gotten away with it though, but I mean, obviously would have found out sooner or later though, but I'm just saying. Don't do it, dude. Just don't do it. And moving on, our next story comes out of Ohio, where a judge offered a convicted drug dealer a chance at treatment instead of prison, was forced to turn down the convict's in-court plea to smoke, quote, one more joint. Hamilton County Common Pleas Judge Milba Marsh said she was willing to work with 19-year-old Damian Mitchell, who was charged with trafficking marijuana. Treatment program would have kept the teen out of prison and erased the charge from his record. All Mitchell had to do was give up smoking pot. Quote, that's going to be hard for me to do, to be honest with you, Mitchell told the judge. Quote, I like smoking weed. Asked if he could get off the pot by Easter, Mitchell admitted he could not. The judge offered Valentine's Day. That wasn't going to work for Mitchell either. Several other dates were offered, with Mitchell eventually saying, quote, if I put my mind to it, I can, quote, in parentheses, I won't want to. Mitchell eventually capitulated to the idea of treatment, but had one final request for the judge. Quote, I know this is probably not the right question to ask, quotation, but can I get a little time, at least, parentheses, to get one more joint in? The judge wasn't exactly enthralled by the idea of toking up in court. Quote, no, you cannot have one more joint for old time's sake, she said. Marsh ordered Mitchell to return to her court for sentencing after he deals with an unrelated trespassing charge. Quote, that's the first time I've ever had a request for marijuana while they're serving time in jail, Marsh told the Cincinnati Enquirer. Okay, dude. Okay, you love smoking pot. Most people do. But if you were offered the chance to give up smoking pot, to have him clean your record, drop the charges, and you would have had to go on with your life without having guilt or any of that stuff ever happen to you, I would have taken it if I were you. But no, because you're all on the pot so much, you decided to just as much as you can, and you're never going to give it up because pot is pot and it's addictive. But you should have taken that deal. If the judge offered you a choice to offer to, quit and eventually clean your record, I would have taken it. Depending on, I think they said as to when it was, right? I think it was, no, they don't say the date. Okay, but I'm just saying that, depending on the date, I would have done with like the closest holiday possible, which, I don't know, like I said, I don't know when they did it though, but if I was offered the closest holiday to quit, I would have done it. But, I mean, that's just me. Yes, it would be hard though, but it's a long road. I mean, I quit smoking. Look at that. Smoked for a year, actually 2 years, quit after a while. I did it like the weirdest fashion way ever, but hey, I quit. I don't smoke anymore. You know what? I'm proud of that. It was kind of easy, but then again, the way I quit was really, really weird, like I said before. So, if I can do it, if other people can do it, you can do it, dude. You just gotta put your mind to it. That's all. And to stop thinking about pot and stop smoking all the time. But of course, that's gonna be pointless. But I'm just blabbering on. So we're moving on to our final story, which comes out of Illinois, where police in Chicago say a 36-year-old armed robber donned a ski mask in order to hide her identity from her victim, her own mother. According to investigators, Julie Frank and an accomplice both wore ski masks on Tuesday, October 9th, when they attacked Frank's 55-year-old mother outside her apartment. The Chicago Sun-Times reports Frank's accomplice shocked the victim about 15 times with a stun gun. The robbers made off with a $40,000 engagement ring, several debit and credit cards, and $200 in cash. Prosecutors say during that time, the scuffle over valuables, a neighbor managed to pull off Frank's mask, exposing her face. Franke fled the scene in a smart car, but was arrested earlier this month. She is being held on a $300,000 bail. Police declined to comment about her alleged accomplice or why it took more than a month to actually arrest Frank. Okay, how stupid are you to try and rob from your mom, for Christ's sakes, and you made off with what, $40,000, a $40,000 engagement ring, a $40,000 engagement ring. That has got to be a lot of diamonds, or just one diamond with a lot of carat on it. Debit and credit cards. Of course, we know identity theft is common. So if they know that you're going to make weird purchases that you never made, and the holder sees that, they're going to decline the card, and then you're going to be SOL. $200 in cash isn't really going to get you much these days. But why did you rob your mother? Why? And then you ask to hide your identity, and then police try to hide and decline any comments about the whole arrestment thing, though. But you have got to be uberly stupid to try and steal from your mom in the first place. Why did you do it? My question is why? Why? I just don't understand. It just, oh my god, it just makes me so flustered with how people and just what people do these days. Just, it's stupid. But anyways, guys, that is it for this edition of Odds and Ends, and I really hope you guys enjoyed listening to those stories as much as I like reading them to you. And as always, I will be back on Thursday for another edition, and until next time, we'll see you guys later, and take it easy.